If you have been on my website and visited the videos page, you might have noticed that the page takes forever to load. And of course it didn't in this case because it's cached, but if I open up the DevTools with F12 and hard reload the page with Ctrl-Shift-R, you will see in this network tab that it takes forever to load and that it loads like a huge amount of data. And that is because on this page I list out all my videos with thumbnails, and I have added the thumbnails to the page just as normal PNG images. So they take forever to load, and there are a lot of videos, so a lot of thumbnails on this page at this point. So yeah, I mean, you can see down here it's almost 20 megabytes. I mean, that's obviously unacceptable. I mean, we're minimalists here, so I want to, in this video, go through how to optimize this. And I will do a few things. I will optimize the HTML to lazy load the images, so only the first few images get loaded and not all of them at once, as is the case right now. And I will also optimize the images themselves by using the WebP format, and I'll obviously do this in a Git hook. So that when I add a new video and a new thumbnail and a new image, I don't have to convert it manually to WebP, but can simply upload the PNG. Alright, so I have the source code of my website pulled up right here, and this right here is the component for the videos page, or for the video listing, and this is written in my own static site generator, which is written in Chicken Scheme, but these details are not really that important right now. What's important is there's this image tag, and this, again, this corresponds to the, so this translates to the actual HTML, let me make this bigger, to the actual like HTML image tag. So if I go to elements and, for example, select this one right here, so this image tag is this one right here. Alright, and what we want to do now is we want to add a new tag, and this tag is the loading tag, and we will set it to lazy. And what this does is it tells the browser, okay, only load this image when the user can see it, basically, or when it's like within reach of the viewport. So it will not load like images which are way down here when you first visit the site. I mean, yeah, so that's a great optimization, and as you can see, it's super simple. So yeah, so far so good. And what I now want to do is I want to also again convert these images to WebP, but before I do that, I first have to change the site to, well, support like adding images as WebP or having WebP images, because as it is now, as you can see, I set the source to static videos and then a parameter I pass up here, and I will go into the contents file in a second and show you what that means. But again, I don't add anything here, so if there is, like for example this image, this restart Anubis release pipeline.png gets inserted here in the contents file. Okay, let's just look into that. Videos and index. I have some test files here, I guess. Okay, and if I scroll up here, so you can see I have this videos list component, which we just looked at, and it gets passed a list. And in this list, I have the videos as like list elements. So the first element is always the title of the video, then the thumbnail, and then the link to YouTube. And then I also have some optional arguments. For example, I can add links here, or also like notes, for example. But yeah, so what we care about is this image. And as you can see, I just inserted the image like as the actual file name, so with the extension back here. And this is of course, yeah, kind of unnecessary because these are all PNG images anyways. So what I should rather do is delete this extension in this contents file and add it in the specification of the actual component. Because what that will allow me to do is now change the format to WebP or to something else, AWIF or whatever you have. So, alright, so what I want to do is really, I want to remove all these .png images in this contents file. So how you do this, and this is Emacs, and I will use a regex replace thing. So what I will do is I will hit Ctrl-Alt-S to do a regexp iSearch, as you can see down here, and I will insert insert dot png. So this is regex, so I need to prefix the dot with a backslash, so it's an actual dot. All right, and what I will now do is I will hit Alt and the %sign, and this will now query me for a replacement regex, and I don't want to. I want to replace it with nothing, and maybe there's a better way to do this, but I will do it like that. So I will just hit enter, and this is an interactive replacement, and this is like way superior to like automatic replacement, because with interactivity you can of course see, okay, what am I actually replacing? So if I, for example, had .png in some video title, for example, or somewhere else on this page, in a link, for example, it would also replace that, even though I only want to replace it inside these, like inside this one string I have. So yeah, so interactivity is I think the best way to go here. So I will hit yes to replace one match, and then yes again, and if I were to now encounter something I don't want to replace, I can hit N for no. So I will go through these and I will cut forward when I'm done. Alright, I'm done with the replacement. So now what we can do is we can go into the components file again, and now we can just add .webp to the end here, and yeah, so all that's now left to do is to create these WebP images. Alright, so, and let me just commit these changes. Image optimization. Alright, I will not push these now because I first want to create the GitHub to automatically convert all the images to WebP. So let's do that. The tool I will use for this is, well, the like official WebP tool. So libwebp tools is the package you need to install on Alpine, but on any other distro it's probably very similar. So just search for libwebp or WebP and you will probably find it. And the actual program we will use is cwebp, which, well, creates a WebP image out of, for example, a PNG file. I don't know if it works with other formats, probably, but it does work with PNG. Alright, so what I will do is I will switch to my Git user and I will edit the hook for my website. So I have this post receive hook in which I switch to the web directory, then I update this directory with the new contents of the repository, of the Git repository, and then I loop over all the .nsg files, just some extension I came up with for my static site generator, and execute this binary right here. So this is my static site generator to generate the site. Who would have thought? And what we now want to add is we want to cd into static videos, because this is where all the thumbnails are located. And we want to now again do a find. I guess we could do it with ls, but I like find or more. And we want to loop over all the PNG files and execute. Well, let's not execute anything. How are we gonna do this? Well, I'm just gonna do it not in this text editor, but rather in the website, in the actual website. So we're gonna go to static videos. All right, and I already have some WebPs here, I think, because I tried this out before. So let's remove all these. So now we only have the PNG images. If I now call find .-name star.png, it will of course list all these out. And what I now want to do is I want to have, let's think. So I probably want to do like a read loop and then loop over, let's just add that already. And then we can do, like, for example, an echo will just echo it out, so nothing has changed. But we can now call our cwebp here. We are gonna specify the output to, for example, this, and our input to the line. So what this, let me make this bigger. What this will do is it will read every line from our find command and then call webp with the line as an input. So for example, this file as an input, and then the output will be this line.webp. So in this case, it will generate y support github.png.webp. And I mean, this works, and this would also work. Like, I would only need to add .png here, but this is not that nice, because then you have two extensions, so two file extensions. And again, it would work perfectly fine, technically speaking, but that's not what we want to do. So what I thought about doing is, okay, so I could replace, so what we could do is we could here call a subshell and then echo the line into sed and then substitute .png for example, .webp. And we don't need to do this in every line, and we also need to specify the $ here, because a file name could have, so it could be, for example, protect.png -email.png, and it would not replace the last PNG, but only the first one. I mean, again, this is not the case here, but yeah. All right, so this would work. We need to remove this. This would work. So let's try it. That it actually does work. Okay, so it's gonna give us a lot of output because CWebP is very noisy by default. So let's actually quiet that a bit. Quiet. Yeah, that's nice. That's better. So again, this works. It's taking a lot because there are a lot of images here, of course. So again, you can see prosody setup.png, prosody setup.webp, or practical ci example.webp, practical ci example.png. So again, this is very nice, but it calls sed on every line. So, and this is not really that efficient if you think about it, because it would be way better if we could just call sed one time. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call sed, and we want to replace .png with, well, nothing, because if we replace it with .webp, we have a problem here calling CWebP, because then we don't have then we only have the output file name, but not the input file name, so the other way around. So I'm gonna replace it with nothing and add the input file name right here, and we can do, so this is not really necessary, I guess, but let's just do it anyways, because we are very clean programmers or something. And then we have, right here we have, yeah, let's just do it like this, line.webp. So again, this is way nicer. And if I now run this, it will take approximately the same amount of time. I mean, I could call time on this whole thing, or could I? Yeah, I mean, I hope you get the point. So now we only call sed once instead of x times. So O of 1 instead of O of n, I guess. All right. So, but again, this is not very efficient, because each time we call this line, it creates new files for all the thumbnails, like for all the images, for all the PNG files, instead of just for the ones which don't have a WebP equivalent in this directory already. So we could do another thing. We could, for example, add a check. So we are gonna call this, so this is a Boolean check, I guess. So what we want to check is, with this -f flag, we want to check if the file exists. So does the following file exist is the question. The line, so the file name itself without extension, because we removed the extension with the set command, .webp, because this is the file we care about. And if it exists, we want to do nothing, and if it doesn't exist, we want to call the CWebP command. So these two pipes signify OR, as you may know. So it's either this is true, or we want to call this. So if this is true, well, the condition is fulfilled, we don't need to call the rest, but if it isn't, we need to call this. So if we try this out, it doesn't work because I need to add a space here, and it's done. So as you can see, it's instantly done, because of course all these files in here have a WebP equivalent. But if we now remove, or we could do something else. Let's just add like this, echo this line, for example. So this will now call, can I wrap this? I want to signify, I want to show you that, okay, so I hope this works. So if we now call this, it will call this whole thing and then echo the line also. So if we now remove something, for example, this protect email thing, because we don't want to protect our emails anymore, and we now call this, it will echo this protect email because this condition is only false for this one file, or for this file rather. So yeah, I think this is very clean now. So I will add this to the Git hook, post receive. Yeah, so this one. So let's go down here and we need to join these lines and do like that. So I think this is, and we can add like something here, converting line to WebP ... just for like, I don't know, user experience, I guess. And I guess I should add it up here as well, or whatever. All right, so if we now push, so yeah, so there's one unmerged commit, and if we now push this, oh, let's remove all these WebP images, I guess, just to show you that it works. I mean, it does, but so there are no WebPs anymore. And if I now push and call and press $sign to take me to the log, we will see, okay, it takes a while to generate the file, and then it loops over all the files and generates the WebPs. All right, pretty good. And if we now go to the browser and reload this whole page again, so as you can see, this is the old weblog. I mean, look at this, 700 kilobytes for a thumbnail. Like what is this? For a small thumbnail. Oh yeah, this is another thing, apropos small. So this is now, these WebPs are fine and all, but we can optimize this even further by specifying the quality flag, I think it is, for CWebP. So if we specify quality 80, for example, it will generate smaller WebP files. And we can, so now of course this doesn't run anymore because we already have all the WebPs we want. So we could delete all them and add it here in this shell as well, quality 80. And well, now you don't, oops. What did I do wrong? CWebP. Ah, Q, okay. So we need to not call quality, but Q. And it will create all of them again with lower quality, because again, these are very small and we can even like resize them. So this would even further optimize them. So let's, where is it? Here. So quality, and we want to do Q. All right, but yeah, I mean, yeah. So as I saw, the Git hook works fine. And if we now hard reload this page, or let's duplicate it and open the DevTools again, F12, and now hard reload this, you will see it will load some files, and it's already done. Like, and as you can see, it only loaded a few files, like I think 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 files instead of 50, and they are way smaller, like 300, like 32, 35 kilobytes compared to like 500. And if we look at the actual, so if we look at, for example, this, or I mean, you can look at anything, the difference in quality is not noticeable. Obviously not, because these are scaled so small anyways, it doesn't really matter. So yeah. Again, so this is, I think, and these optimizations, as you could see, these are really simple. And now we are only transferring like not even a megabyte compared to 20 or 19. So yeah, this is really, really good. And it as you could see, it was really simple. I added like one HTML tag for lazy loading and some optimization in the template, and then only a Git hook to convert all these files to WebP instead of PNG. So yeah. I mean, nothing fancy here, but the difference is like huge. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to show you in this video. That's how I optimized my website for better loading times, or the video site at least. And yeah, that's it. Have a nice day.